Reload. Ready?
Yeah.
You look ready.
And I hope everybody else is ready. This has been a massive, massive week. Plus, on top of that, we have some books to catch up on from last week after doing our Mission Impossible special. Some good stuff to cover, some not so good stuff to cover. And as always, I'm going to be joined by my partner in crime to cover it all. Don't go anywhere. Hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Let's go. Welcome,
Hello.
co-pilot, partner in crime, my main man with pots and pans, my main man, 50 grand, Sector 2815. Paul, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good, man. It's been a fantastic weekend. It's been a legitimate off weekend. We've had kids graduating, finishing with their ballet recital. We had gymnastics class. We visited some comic shops, went to the park. We just done it all. We've done it all this weekend. So I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to wrap up the weekend and just wind it down, looking at all the crazy fundom in the fandom from the week. It's a lot to talk about.
Yeah. Like, welcome to the unofficial summer, right?
Yeah, that's funny you say that because the pool didn't go well today. Like, came back from walking the dogs around the neighborhood. No, came back from the park, came back from something. And they went to the pool and both of them got their bathing suit on. They're excited. They get in the pool and didn't even sit down. Like, they got into the pool far enough to get like the water up on their thighs. Like, we're good. We're good. Maybe we should just use the squirt guns and squirt stuff around the yard instead. Long. Didn't last long at all. Off to a slow start, but we got DJ Links in the chat. LFG, let's freaking go. 44 months strong as a Legionnaire. Boom. Big shout out. Thank you to DJ. Wait for some people to roll in and want to talk about some comics curing cancer stuff. We made the big announcement for the 2025 art book, so we'll be talking about that in a little bit as well. The Adventurous one, Joseph Michaels, what's going on, man? I'm kind of curious, Joe, in your area, I know you get the early access to movies and stuff quite often. They're doing the for one, Regal is bringing back midnight releases for the summertime. So instead of Thursday, there'll be like a Wednesday midnight release for select films. I think it's starting with Jurassic World. But the Amazon Superman screening thing is slowly happening in different areas. I was wondering if you'd seen or caught up any wind of that, Joe. Curious when you might be gaining access to stuff because you already live in a high-profile area.
We actually were discussing this off, and we figured you had already seen it.
Yeah, we were recording tomorrow's DC Deep Dive this morning, and I thought, oh, we need to talk to Joe because he probably saw Superman 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Gave it an 8 on his head.
Yeah, interested to see what your area is doing. Yo, Joe, what is going on? Eric Thompson, what's up? Good to see you in here. Yeah, slow start. Only 7 people in here. Make sure you 7 hit the thumbs up. Share the stream out. Tell some people to come in here, come hang out and all that good stuff. And if you haven't already, make sure y'all go enter the Epic Summer Giveaway. Tons of prizes, all kinds of cool stuff, numerous ways to enter, numerous ways to win. And
it's amazing. Those 3 movies are coming out this summer, and we've already had Mission Impossible 2 on top of that.
Dude, Mission Impossible is freaking epic.
It's a incredible summer.
It is. It's next level. So here's the stuff that's included in that giveaway. There's a 9.8 Superman 12 signed by Lee Bermejo. There's a Jurassic Park 1 CGC 9.4 double signed by George Perez and Walt Simonson. And there's an Origin of Galactus with Supervillains Classics #1, as well as some Thunderbolts exclusive to celebrate that. We've got some Jeff Johns signed Raw books and Action Comics, Ian Bertram variant of Metamorpho celebrating the Superman movie, some Mark Spears covers because the hottest artist in the game, some sketch variants of books that I absolutely love and hope you will too with Hercules and Huck. We've got the first appearance of Doomsday, the death of Superman, Superman for all seasons, the complete set, as well as the first appearance of Metamorpho in the 2025 reprint edition. And then some Star Wars goodness, the logo variant, the John Jang variant, and then Raptor issue #1. Some famous creators worked on all those Jurassic Park books. It's pretty interesting going back and seeing that, but try to theme it after some of the big stuff happening. You know, Star Wars is always there's always a fan somewhere, including myself, despite what Disney tries to do to run us away. So we can jump right into this, Brian, if you want to. So for those of us, myself included, who think that Kingdom Come is the greatest story ever told, the greatest story ever told. I've got the flop. I got multiple sets of the floppies. I got the first and second print editions of the trade paperback, because second print's that gatefold cover. And I even bought this, overpaid for it just to support the Comics Curing Cancer cause and everything that Paul even gave away. Then it got donated. It just went on a great journey to end up with me where it's going to stay forever. So when they announced that they're going to be doing this Legend of the Kingdom Come documentary on the greatest comic story ever written, I was ridiculously excited. Paul was too. We're DC fanboys. We're Alex Ross fans, Mark Waid fans, and fans of Kingdom Come. To see this story getting some love and appreciation and attention is always a great thing. It's so influential in the medium. Even, I believe, inspiring the upcoming movie in more ways than a lot of people know. So I backed this thing on day one in order to get the Emerald Edition because I'm a fan of Green Lantern. I love Superman. I love Green Lantern. And I wanted something more exclusive because I want to support this thing, and that justified my decision to give them more money. I can have something more exclusive that when I look at it, I think I was there that day. I was there first. I was there early. I was supporting. I put my money where my mouth is. Kingdom Come. So these came in, some really cool stuff with it. I'll be happy to show this off. And you got the same set, right, Paul?
I did. Plus, I got 2 of the Alex Ross covers too.
So it came with some really cool art cards, which are freaking awesome. See, there's the first print trade paperback cover. There's a second print trade paperback cover that was a gatefold, and third print that's non-gatefold. There's where he does the big return. There's the cover for issue 4. Just some really cool stuff. It even came with actual cards inside the case, like just actual cards. Some of them are just the Emerald Edition. Pretty much the same thing you get, but a couple of different ones. Him flying out of Green Lantern's Emerald Palace in the sky, when Batman joined the fight, which was epic. And then when Captain Marvel did the deed and saved everybody except the ones that didn't make it into the bubble, but he saved people. He broke Mr. Mind's control, took Superman down, and saved Superman. Sometimes Superman needs saving. So I was super excited. I had this off weekend, like I told you, all these great plans and everything. And this right here, Blu-ray, because some people still do Kickstarters with DVDs. I don't understand the concept of doing DVDs because that's like a dead format in media. But luckily, modern technology is supposed to keep up with old stuff. It's what's called backwards compatible. I took this last night. The kids were in there chilling. The wife was in there. I was going to put it on. We all were going to watch it. I put the disc in, and it says incompatible format. I tried it numerous times, and I've had this happen before with cheaply made stuff. And what happened is this disc is a bad press. Modern technology disc readers is not wanting to read it because it's recognizing it as something foreign and not formatted for 4K players, which are backwards compatible. I can put in one of these dinosaur DVDs I have, and it'll play just fine. So I'm like, okay, that's frustrating. I wanted to sit here and watch this on my 4K TV with my family and everything. Despite none of them wanting to watch it with me, I thought to myself, they just dodged a bullet. I'll take this $104.88 paper plastic souvenir, put it on my shelf, never take it off my shelf again, and just go to the legendofkingdomcome.com portal. Anyone that bought this is able to go to that portal and watch it there. You set up an account like early on in the Kickstarter where you can watch it. Well, I went to do that and it doesn't recognize my account. My account that logs in just fine, shows my purchase. I go to watch it. It says I don't have access and to contact the store or whatever. So I sent them a message and they said they'll get back to you in 2 business days. Well, it's a freaking weekend. It's the freaking weekend. And I go back to work and kids and life. I had an opening and you're telling me you're stupid? $104.88 backed Blu-ray is too cheaply pressed to do anything with other than just let it be an ornament, and your portal isn't actively working. That's lame. That's super freaking lame. Now, I wouldn't, things happen. I didn't lose sleep over it. Still not going to, but there's no quick customer support. This project got funded 10 times over its goal. It made over $250,000 on day one. On day one, I think it had like a $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 goal. It did over $250,000 on day one. So I don't really have any sympathy for them to not have pressed out a good thing to test these themselves. It's kind of crazy. And to take the story to its ultimate conclusion, I reached out to Paul Well, I didn't reach out to him. I talked to him every day. We were on stream together doing some recording, and I asked him because I know he ordered it, and his experience was similar but not the same.
Yeah, so I put it in my 4K, and I got the same thing said incompatible, does not support this thing. So I happen to have a regular Blu-ray in my bedroom, so I went and I put it in my bedroom, and it worked fine. So they just, however they pressed it, they just didn't press it so that a 4K could read it. Like Mark said, 4K is the reason why you do 4K is because it's backwards compatible and you can get the most up to date. But if you have to get a Blu-ray, you can still get a Blu-ray, and it'll still play there. So, and the good thing about 4K is one reason why you get a 4K too is because there are no region codes with 4K. If you know anything about Blu-rays or DVDs, there are region codes. So if you try to get one that was produced for Europe and you try to play it in an American that is not region free, it won't play. So 4Ks, they don't use region codes. They just print them. So
And on top of that, they upscale everything.
yeah,
So
right.
even if you have something older, like when I put in Lois and the Adventures of Lois and Clark, the New Adventures of Superman, the old Dean Cain Superman show, I'll take out the discs. I'll put that in my 4K player, and it'll play on the TV, and it'll look like I'm watching like this like super high def thing. It's a whole new experience, and to spend that money on something and it not work at all is super disheartening. And I've reached out to a homie that I talk to all the time that is, I'm not trying to put him on blast because I don't want his stuff out there, but if you know him, you know, like he works adjacent with people that work on this thing and everything. And he said that he'll talk to him on Monday when they get back to Dallas Fan Expo and see about sending me a replacement copy. But the thing is, like, they'll all be like this. They used a cheap presser, and now they're all going to be incompatible with standard 4K players, which is the modern day technology. 4K is not new. It's been out for like 6-7 years at least. And to get something like this that doesn't do that, that's mad frustrating. And I'm familiar with that. It's happened to me like 2 other times in the past when I've like special ordered some movies and stuff, and they have to make them on demand. But it's ridiculously frustrating. I'm super excited to watch this. I want to sit down on my couch, watch it on my big TV in the high def and everything. I don't want to sit in the computer chair and watch it on my laptop or watch it on my phone, no matter how much my family probably wish I would. Phil, make sure you put the key back up there, please. Wherever you set it down, it needs to go back up there. Okay. But yeah, that's the disaster. This rollout is just a total crap show. The discs don't work. The portal is not functioning. Absolute crap show. And for something to have made that much money, this should be seamless. The portal should have been working months ago. I never even thought to watch it because I knew I had the physical media coming. You could have watched it early via the portal, but I didn't want to. I wanted to wait till this came in, open it up, get the smell of plastic and paper coming out and all that good stuff, and cast it to from your TV, from your computer. Here's the thing. You might have missed it. The portal doesn't work either. The physical media is not working, and their portal doesn't work either. So they have no active way to watch this film right now. Something about that first screening experience makes a huge impression. It does. Mm-hmm. It does. I say it all the time about the theater experience. You cannot replicate it at home. You can't. I don't care how good your surround sound is. I've got a great setup. It's not the same. If you say it's the same, you're just lying to yourself and no one believes you. It's that simple. You're trying to trick yourself. There's something about putting forth work for something. You get out of stuff what you put into it. You get like the best possible experience when you work for something, when you take the time, when you plan, when you travel, when you buy, the anticipation, the sitting down in a room uninterrupted. You can't beat that. And I was doing the best possible chance to watch this. So I don't want to like watch it on my phone or on the laptop. This isn't the newest episode of a D+ series. This is the Legend of Kingdom Come. The Todd Father's on here doing commentary.
Yeah.
You got me, T-Dubs. That was earlier. Yo, these people are hitting all of our callbacks.
I know.
Alex Ross doesn't need to do anything. I want to make sure that's perfectly clear. And in no way, shape, fashion, or form does this have anything to do with the person, Alex Ross, the artist. I've never known Alex Ross to be in the business of making movies, creating documentaries, or shipping Kickstarters. The man does art. So the people that are working on this project need to do something. The case of the doc was good. Who knows, man? Who knows?
Yeah, I just know that it plays on my. I didn't watch it, but I just tried it on my DVD player in my bedroom. So
yeah, super unfortunate. And I've got VHS players, I got Blu-ray players that are all packed up and stuff that I'd have to go out and get. And I told the wife, I was just frustrated. She's like, "Well, you see the Blu-ray player out." I'm like, I shouldn't have to. It's not the point. I shouldn't have to go unpack stuff, come inside, set stuff up, all that. But then again, it might make the experience even better. We'll see. We'll see. Alex Rock packaged my Critters VHS tape. There you go. There you go. I am a Disney shill. I'll bust out the t-shirt. Don't make me do it. No excuse for that happening. Corners cut to make bigger profits 1,000%. And that's the thing. There was no need with it. They put this at they had a high Kickstarter goal. It was under 100,000, but they made like $500,000 total on this Kickstarter. I think I'd have to go look again. It was something ungodly. Do you remember what it was, Paul?
I don't. I just remember that we were. I mean, you and I were kind of trying to watch it almost in real time to see how I was doing, and it was like literally like a couple hours after it started, it had already made its goal and more.
Yeah, it was 927% funded. Ugh. Yeah, it had a goal of $50,000. It did 463,823. A 927% funded. There's no reason they could have gotten the most prestigious Blu-ray producer out there, and they would have all still been making like buckets of cash. That's a crazy amount. You wanted 50, you got 463,823. $463,823. That's insanity. No corners should have been cut. We were excited. I made this thumbnail for tonight before experiencing this hiccup. I was excited to talk about this, to share my love and passion for the story. Everyone knows I never hesitate to do that, to call back to it, to mention it, to suggest people read it. And this would have been a fun conversation, but we're going to have to table it and come back to it another time, which is unfortunate. It's cool to be on the front end of stuff too. Me and Paul both got on the front end of these shipping out. This thing showed up at my house before I even got the notification that the first orders were going out. I didn't even know what was showing up. Didn't even have a clue. It was cool to be on the front end of it. But
yeah, and they'd even in like the Emerald edition, the ones that we got, they were like the early bird backers.
Yeah, I think it was like a 2-3 hour window, or like the first few hours if you back it.
Right.
I have nothing but bad experiences with Kickstarter. Never again. So I don't do much Kickstarter backing. I pretty much only like back stuff that, like, if I have a friend or a buddy doing something, like kind of a support thing. Like I would buy it in person if they had it. They run it on Kickstarter. I get it. But I ordered I backed the Monsterverse thing from there, which I got in early, which was cool because they had multiple books and they shipped them as they produced them. They didn't even make you wait on everything because the waits takes forever. And the second half of that a year later is just now about to show up. And they ran another Monsterverse Kickstarter, which I jumped on because, I'm a stooge for Godzilla and Kong stuff. I'm happy to admit it. But it's going to get worse, Sledge, because that leads us right into our first topic for tonight. The first topic after that topic. The first topic after the first topic. Can you guess what it is, Paul?
I really can, actually.
Perfect. We're talking Kickstarter, and we're talking the return of comic legends coming together like butt cheeks. They set the world on fire with their team-ups in the past on Wolverine and the creation of an all-star character called Kick-Ass that spawned a movie franchise and kicked off really the Miller World in fashion. Miller had been teasing this in the back pages of his Miller World books that come out from Dark Horse. If you read the Miller World stuff, which I always recommend you should, any of it, all of it, 100% of it, recommendation, except for Sharky the Bounty Hunter. That could have been better. But his reappearance in Big Game was epic. They've been teasing Mark Miller and John Romita Jr. coming back to work on a big project, and they officially announced it. And it's called Psychic Sam. I was like, yay, this is exciting. There's a couple of things about it that I'm like, oh, bummer. Well, it's not part of Miller World. That's not a bummer. That's him trying to keep his hands on this property as he sold the Miller World rights to Netflix, which I think that's been working out good. You got a Super Crooks TV show, a Jupiter's Legacy TV show. You've got American Jesus TV show in their Spanish First region. All kinds of cool stuff. How do you spell what? I'll write it down for you. That's a long one. But this is going to be one outside of the Miller World. It's coming from a different publisher. They're running it on Kickstarter first.
Wait, your kids come to you asking how to spell something?
Yeah. Oh, I can handwrite. I can handwrite without typos. What do you want, Night Guard?
And the good thing too about it, if you read Mark Millar's, you can actually read all of those series that he did from Kick-Ass on, and if you read them all, as Mark will tell you because he has, everything comes together at one
All of
point.
them. It really does. It comes together like butt cheeks. And it comes together in this epic story called Big Game. And it was awesome, Paul, because was it last year or the year before? It was the year before, right? No, it was, what year was it when we were doing our comic crawl at the shops? It was the year before last.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. So the year before last is when Big Game #1 came out, and between 1 and 2 coming out is when we did our summer trip, and me and Paul converge in Florida and hang out for the day and hit some shops. And I wanted the Frank Quitely variant for Big Game #1 because Frank Quitely famously worked on Jupiter's Legacy with Mark Millar. That's my all-time Miller World. But I decided that day, I'm like, Paul, I think I'm going to read all the Miller World. And I picked up the Wanted trade paperback while we were at Coliseum of Comics, one of their locations, because we hit as many as we can in a day based on the weather and the kids and everything. And I read through all of it. I made it. Got through all of it in under a year. Had no clue he was about to move the Dark Horse and kick it into full gear and start dropping books left and right. He hasn't been writing like this. I don't think this consistently this much and releasing in his entire career. It's a great time to be a Mark Millar fan. Sharky was good, fool. I'm not saying it was bad. I'm saying that it was by far his weakest story out of everything. Name me a Miller World book that you prefer less than Sharky. King of Spies? What is it? MPH? Super Crooks? I'm trying to think of some more of the offbeat ones because Sharky is more of an offbeat one. Clearly, it's not Nemesis.
Right.
You know, it's not Kick-Ass. It's not Hit Girl. It's not Supreme. Supreme, everyone cries at the end of it. It's impossible not.
Kingsman, right?
Kingsman is amazing. Even the second volume that wasn't written by Mark Millar, you still want Eggsy's story in it. I said it exactly like that. Yeah, the last Kickstarter book I got shipped in an envelope. Yeah, and see, that's not really my thing with Kickstarter. What kind of bums me out about him is I'm going to back this project. I want to back this project because I want to support this project. I'm one of the few people out here that defends John Romita Jr. I don't try to justify some of his modern work on like Spider-Man and stuff like that, but I'll defend it to the point of exhaustion that he's a phenomenal artist and his body of work can speak for me. I don't have to do it. So I'm excited for these two to come out together because I think some of JR's best work was in fact Kick-Ass. So I'm excited for this. And there's even a movie apparently already optioned that they announced alongside this book. The only downside about this is when you order the Kickstarter, what ends up happening, it shows up after the book comes out. This is a Kickstarter for a graphic novel version of it. You get some hardbacks, some softbacks. You get some options. That means that there's a potentially like separate individual issues that I'm assuming will probably come out through the direct market first. So you end up getting the book, reading the book, talking about the book, being excited for the book. Then you forget about it, move on to the next thing. And then all of a sudden, sometime later, just poof, it just shows up. And you're like, oh, snap, there's $100 out of my account. Then sometime later, poof, there's the book. There's the book. And now I don't need to do anything with it, but put it on my shelf and forget about it. I forgot that I ordered it. Now I can forget that I even needed it.
Yeah, one of the things that is, I mean, I hate to bring real world into this, but one of the things that could potentially really kind of throw wrenches into all these things is most of these things are printed overseas. And so, and although like if they're printed in Canada, most of the comic books and stuff that are printed in Canada and whatever, they're not subject to any tariffs, whatever happens. But most of the hardbacks are printed in China.
That's fair. Pop says he's going to start a Kickstarter. It's the Kick Rocks Kickstarter. I'll collect all your money. Then after a 2-year wait, inform you that you're getting nothing and tell you to go kick rocks. So what you're doing is the Rob Liefeld method. There's still people waiting on a Kickstarter from 2 years ago from him. Still waiting on him to do something with it.
I backed a Kickstarter not too long ago. It was by Clover Press. It was Jorge Jimenez, a collection of all of his DC work.
Oh, wow.
So, and it comes with an actual, like a drawing from him, like not just a print. It comes with an actual
drawing. That's insane. Yeah. How much did you have to back it to get that drawing? Don't be modest.
It was like $500, which isn't bad for a drawing though.
No, not with all that plus a drawing.
Yeah.
All right, so we got a special guest tonight. We got none other than Bert Nasty.
Hey, what's going
I
on?
like the tank top, homie. America.
Yeah, I wore it to the pool yesterday, and as you can see with the name, I'm pretty burnt. I'm very burnt. So yeah, more in a tank top. Got to sleeveless. Burke fan 54. What's going on, man?
Nothing much, just living the dream. We're kind of talking about Kickstarter, the Legend of the Kingdom Come disaster. The discs don't play on 4K players. Your bathroom, buddy. The portal where you're supposed to be able to watch it on the Legend of the Kingdom Come website. If you back it, you're supposed to be able to watch it there digitally. The portal's not working properly. So there's literally no way to watch this movie that I paid $104.88 to back it proper. And it's just it's just paper and plastic that says the Legend of Kingdom Come. And unfortunately, there's not even credits on the back to read. There's just not even anything on here.
So what you're saying is I should not back it to watch it if I want to watch it for 30
It's
bucks.
it's already come and gone.
Yeah, it's already done. Yeah.
What?
But you can go to the Legend of
The Kickstarter's already closed.
It
Closed
closed
a while ago.
months ago. Like they
What?
run for like 30 days, and if they get funded, then they go into production. It's
But
at
like-
the very back end where stuff's showing up now.
Well, it says that you could still buy it for 30 bucks to watch.
Well, there you go. I wouldn't do that unless you have to
You
be
can buy
fair.
it from the website. Yeah.
Yeah, to be fair, what conclusion we came to is that it won't play in a modern player. You have to have an old Blu-ray player, and it doesn't work on my 4K player. Doesn't work on Paul's 4K player. He's got an older player that he put it on that plays.
I'm sorry.
It's just cheap
meant
material
buy-
that they made it on, and it's just.
I'm sorry. I meant buying a digital copy. I don't buy.
Yeah, I would buy it at this point. Well, I don't want to give them any more money, to be honest with you. Like $104.88 I spent backing that all in.
Can we talk about something positive? Like
We did. We just got done talking about Mark Miller and JRJR doing their own Kickstarter, joining forces again since Kick-Ass. It's been a long time. It's called Psychic Sam. There's a lot of Miller World fans out there. You know, I'm a big time Miller World fan. Read every bit of it. Get all of his books still. I'm excited for this. It's a hitman who is able to see the future. It's almost like Minority Report in that sense. Like, I don't know about the precogs. This guy just has the ability to know who's about to commit a murder, and I guess he goes out there and intervenes. So I'm excited for that. These books are always rough, R-rated.
You would think he would know whether he's successful or not.
$58,000.
That's a good point.
58 grand is what they have so far in that Kickstarter.
Yeah, it's got 37 days to go.
Almost
It's
1,000 backers. Nice.
It's fully funded.
He'd be going after his first guy. Like, I'm not going to shoot at you. And the guy would go, why? It's like, because I miss.
Yeah, it's at 58,000 out of 26,000 it wanted. So yeah, it's fully funded. Yeah, I would like this, and it's a new imprint that they're taking it out under called Side Hustle Comics. All right, we're moving right over. Let's move right over. That was the Kickstarter talk. Some negative, some positive. Balance it out for Sleeveless Steve. But for those that don't know, if you missed it, I posted a short on the YouTube. DJ posted a live stream on the Instagram. Then on the Comics Curing Cancer page, we posted over there. But the 2025 Comics Curing art book is now available for pre-order, limited to only 300 copies. Even more limited are the pre-orders. We will be taking these to Heroes Con. So if you're not able to go to Heroes Con, now is your chance. You can help smash cancer and get this amazing art book. That cover says it all. DJ leveled up his efforts, leveled up everything about this. The inside will rock your socks off. The number of artists that you'll recognize will blow your mind. But this is just the cover. This is just a cover. You can go right now to comicscuringcancer.bigcartel.com. I put the link in the description of the video to make it easy for you and pre-order your copy today. That way you don't miss out.
Gray Hulk.
Yeah, it's Red Hulk. It's just in black and white.
I know.
Yeah, it's Red Hulk. Woo! So even if you plan on going to Heroes Con and you're budgeting for Heroes Con, you're trying to figure out what to do and how to do with your money, you got a few weeks. Pre-order you a copy today, save that money back up, and then come to the booth, because this isn't it. This is just the first thing that we're announcing. This is just the tip. Just the tip. you're going to want to have some funds. You're going to want to help fight cancer, and you're going to be happy that you did it because we're not going to let you down. We got some cool stuff planned and doing things. We got to level up from last year, right? Got to level up from last year, and that's what we're doing. Big shout out to DJ for the hard work that he puts into that, and all the artists for putting in their time, talent, and energy. It's absolutely amazing. I couldn't be more impressed with it. Just the tip is correct. The Red Hulk tip. Sir Timothy Nerdy, what is going on? Rich, how are you doing? Good to see y'all in here.
I pre-ordered
Free
a copy.
key, Louis, Burke Nasty, all keys, no sleeves. Oh, what's this? What? Oh, wait. I see something. Got a $5 super chat from Eric Thompson. That's some bull. I always go DVD players are like $20. Yeah, it's definitely some bull. Like, it's just, I think to be honest with you, dude, I blame streaming. With streaming killing everything else, I have to cut costs on everything. So there's these little fly-by-night pressers that make these things now. Just everything gets cheaper, not just in cost, but in quality as time goes. And if you skimp, that's what's going to happen. But I'll never go back. I'm like Jack Reacher. I'm not going back to DVDs. I still have tons of DVDs of stuff that has never been released on better format and stuff like that. I buy 4Ks, and most of the time 4Ks come with a Blu-ray in it anyways and a digital copy, but I buy 4Ks, and even then I buy 4K steelbooks now any chance I get. Like with physical media getting smaller and smaller, I try to put more and more into it. It's a collectible hobby, just like comics. I love it. I love film. I enjoy movies, all aspects of it. But it's sad to see things go this route. But
yeah, I was watching someone on, I don't remember what, maybe it was like a Today Show or something, but they were saying that if you have an extra $100 or whatever, it's not a bad idea to buy an extra 4K player, because at some point they won't make them anymore.
yeah,
And when yours breaks
Samsung has
down,
already stopped.
Yeah.
Samsung stopped a couple years ago. That's a good point. I'm probably due to go buy like 2 of them and just put them up in the closet.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm also lucky. I've got this place called Dead Media that still gets VHS players in at least once a month, like much less DVD. They still get the TV combos, the TV,
Yeah.
DVD or TV VHS. It's just the place, it's the place. It isn't like you can go in there any day that we can find one. And when they come in, you better move fast. But they're still out there. But they are getting harder and harder to find and more expensive. And I'm sure the 4K stuff will go the same way. It's just not cost efficient for them to have to make it.
Right.
And it's going to get up to the point where the only places that make it won't be this region. So it's good that they're region free.
Yeah.
DJ dropped the link to pre-order the book. Make sure y'all hit that link. Get your copy. Toretto stolen DVD players at the right time. Yeah, he sure did, didn't he? Just watched a Cynthia Rockwell picture on DVD today. 23-mile yard sale this weekend. How many players you want? Holy crap. That's a long yard sale.
Mm.
You got your C3 book, Steve?
Yeah, I paid for it. I'm going to pick it up at the con. Talk to DJ. I got it all squared away, brother.
Hell yeah. Yeah, Bart came to America. We hit up that store. It was amazing. That had Betamax and Laserdisc players. Yeah. That's probably where he found that Superman stuff, Pops. Let's see what else we have on here. Steve, are you pressed for time, or are you going to be hanging out with us?
I got all night, brother.
School's out for the summer, huh?
Yep, and my wife and kid are still at my in-laws. It's just me and my cat hanging out. Yep.
Oh, yeah. And in case Big Daddy Burke. And in case y'all missed it, shout out to Eric again for the $5 super chat. We got new clips in here. I uploaded some new clips for the super chatness. So feel free to play clips whenever we're rambling. You can interrupt the conversation at any time with the super chat to play a clip. Shout out to BD Burke. All right, let's go back up there. Let's see what we got. Don't have stuff in here.
Are you going to Heroes Con, Paul?
I am not. Why would you bring that up?
Paul says he hates comics.
We got some stuff from Dallas Fan Expo. Gonna hit the YouTubes this week. Mike V.
Are you staying in the same hotel as everybody else? Don't you guys all stay in the same hotel, Mark?
I can't speak for everyone else, but anybody that got some common sense and some good planning skills, they'll be at the Westin with me.
That's the hotel that the con is in, right?
No, the con's in the convention center, but like
Okay,
there's a
the Westin,
breezeway
right?
that connects the Westin to the convention center. It's the closest hotel to it.
We'll be
That's
walking over there and hanging out there a lot, I'm sure.
yeah, and that's what I try to tell everyone. No matter what hotel that you try, if you haven't been, you don't know, but if you've been, you know, like no matter what hotel you stay at, you're going to be at the Westin, not sleeping, but you'll be there hanging out in the lobby, the common area, the bar, the restaurant. You'll be in their conference rooms for the stuff that they have. People might say, "Oh, I don't care about an art auction," and then you realize that it's a giant party, and that's where everyone just hangs out. Like you'll be at the art auction. It's a blast, dude. It's a whole scene. It is a whole scene. But yeah, if you're able to make it to the Westin, that's the place to be. I'll be there eating breakfast at 6:30 a.m. every day. You can find me, Pops, DJ, Rob. We'll be down there.
And well,
That breakfast is expensive. I looked it up. It's like $30.
Well, lucky for me, I do one meal a day, and typically it's dinner. But for the show, I'm just going to shift. I'll eat Thursday evening dinner there, catch up with the small crowd on Thursday evening, and then after that, be switching to breakfast for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
You only eat one meal a day? Holy crap, dude. That's insane.
Not if you eat the way I eat. I eat enough in one meal to justify like maybe 2 meals. And I'm like, if I eat this much, I don't want to have to like watch my calories or this or that. I'd rather just eat how I want. So I'll just eat one meal a day. And you know that show Naked and Afraid, they eat like one bug a week. And they're like, oh, that's enough calories to go the next 3 days. I'm like, is that right? It's not.
It's not.
Got all the protein you need.
Yeah, but in all sincerity, like any given time you eat a meal in America, you're eating more than you need in a single given day. So I'm eating like last night I had a rack of ribs, a Caesar salad, and some fried like a whole rack. You know, like you don't need more than that in a day. Like I ate a whole baby back rack. It was delicious.
My wife
then we ordered a dessert to go with it. We had an appetizer beforehand, which was only 2 cheese sticks a piece, but still, like that's enough for that's an entire day's worth of food. 2 cheese sticks, a Caesar salad, a rack of ribs, some fries, and a dessert. That's literally a day's worth of food.
We my wife's family's Italian. We had homemade meatballs, homemade spaghetti sauce, homemade ravioli, all of that tonight. It was delicious.
Yeah, you weren't here at the beginning of the stream, Sledge, but I went through the quick hit list of how this weekend's gone. You were there for some of it, but man, it's been going. Only if you bring him. What is going on, Billy? What's up, Chris? Good to see you on here. Donovan, what's up? What's up?
So let's move on to another topic then. Let's talk about the big comic news this week. It's half of the thumbnail exactly. Is Marvel and DC announced 2 new crossovers, both with Deadpool and Batman, but one in September and one in November. The September one is the Marvel one, which is Zeb Wells and Greg Capullo. And the one in November is going to be Grant Morrison returning to Batman, along with his partner from the Klaus series, Dan Mora. So you looking forward to those, Steve?
Absolutely. Greg Capullo is one of my favorite artists. I mean, the entire Batman New 52 run. I read the entire Batman New 52 run, and I think in about 3 days, like about 5-6 years ago on a weekend. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. Obviously, Dan Moore is my guy with his work on Power Rangers. Absolutely epic. And Grant Morrison, great writer. I don't know too much about Zeb Wells. I know a lot of people are not excited about him writing it, but I'm going to pick up both the Marvel and the DC copy for sure.
Yeah, he did Spider-Man for a while, I think, for some time. But so they're planning more in 2026. But besides the main story too, they're going to have some backup stories, and they announced like Adam Kubert is going to be doing some of the art on some of the backups. I can't recall all the other ones, but there's going to be some like mini backup stories as well. And then, like I said, they've promised that there'll be more in 2026. So we'll see what we get for next year.
So for me, the most exciting part about it isn't necessarily this gimmicky throwaway story, which, you know, Deadpool, Batman, tent poles right now. It's the possibility of wicked cool retailer exclusives. Now, when you're dealing with both publishers, it's unlocking the ability for some of our favorite artists, I'm talking to you, John Jang, to draw an amalgam character. And I messaged that to him months ago when they first announced that. He's like, "Oh snap! Can you imagine him doing Dark Claw or Super Soldier or Lobo the Duck?"
You think that's where they're going with this? Do you think they're going to go back to Amalgam after this? I don't think they really.
No,
I think
but
they'll-
it gives him the chance because the
Yeah.
covers don't have nothing to do with these books
Right.
half the time.
Right.
You do whatever you want. Like, you know, that would ultimately that like if they did that, that would be a dream come true. Hell, they did the Stanley Just Imagine anniversary book a couple 2 years ago or so. So they brought those characters back for that one off.
Yeah, you would think that, what was it, a Lobo the Duck, whatever, that's got to be John. That has John all over it.
Which John?
John Jang.
Oh yeah, absolutely. This is Duckbill with a cigar hanging out of it. I'd
Yeah.
like to see him do Doctor Strange Fate,
Yeah,
That'd
I was
be-
just going to say
that'd be
that.
insane. If
It's
he
a-
did like Generation Hex and the Metal Men or something like there, dude, it's limitless how creative he can get with some of this stuff.
It's a big year for DC, man. You got the Superman movie coming out, the Absolute Line's killing it. You have this coming out. You have the new Batman #1 coming out. I mean, there's a lot of DC stuff coming this year, and it's exciting, especially as a huge DC fan.
Yeah, that segues us to the timeline because they gave us our most recent timeline. DC's great about giving timelines in their ads, right? They posted this up.
Timelines in their ads and push pins on the walls in their comics.
Yeah.
With hints.
They posted the DC All-In Saga continues. It takes it back to absolute power through the All-In special, the formation of the Justice League Unlimited to where we are currently with We Are Yesterday. And then next month, we'll be getting the Legion of Darkseid story. But the biggest cliffhanger there is what we see in fall 2025, simply with the Omega symbol with the DC All-In underneath it. So we know that the Legion of Superheroes, the absolute Legion of Superheroes, were the big cliffhanger at the end of the DC All-In special. No matter which way you read the story from, the primary universe, the absolute world, it ended right here on the same page with Booster Gold facing down the Legion of Darkseid is apparently the name of it. We've also seen him in the pages of Superman #23. We saw him in the Superman Summer Special where we checked back in and found out that Booster Gold is alive. He's chained up and they're about to take Validus and torture him and stuff. And so we've seen them pop in and out. We know that they're at the end of time with Time Trapper Doomsday. So apparently that story is about to actually get running next month.
Yeah, and there was a one-page interlude in the latest Superman that just came out this week where the Saturn girl from the Legion of Darkseid probes Booster Gold and suddenly sees what the Superman from the main line is like. And he sees compassion, and it's like, oh, Darkseid's not going to like that.
Not going to like that. Don't worry, Steve. It's not really that big of a spoiler. It's literally a one-page little glimpse.
It's fun. It's fun. Everything's fun.
No way you'll remember that when you get it.
No, it's fine.
I'm surprised I remembered it. I can't remember anything.
As you said it, I'm like, what is he talking about? Oh yeah.
I'm about ready for my next batch of books from Paul, honestly, because I think I'm caught up on everything. I finally finished that TMNT Saturday Morning Adventures trade, and so
Can you tell me what that was? What that trade was? That new material? Was that just reprinting old material?
No. So what it is they use the art from the TV show to make a comic book. And yes, it was very much for kids, but every single issue was like an episode from the TV show. Like you didn't really need to read the issue before. Like it doesn't build like a regular comic book series. It's just like individual issues or like individual episodes. So it was good, but it wasn't like, I don't know if I want to get volume 2 or volume 3 or and beyond.
So it was all new material though, right?
Yeah, I didn't recognize any of the stuff, honestly. And they didn't have like an intro like they did in the TV show. It like picked up knowing everyone who the Ninja Turtles are, April O'Neil, Shredder, Bebop, Rocksteady, all of that stuff. So
and I tagged you in it. You saw where the I believe it's the artist who does that will be at Heroes Con.
Yes, I'll probably pick up a book to have him sign it. So I love the TV show as a kid.
I think it was a lady. I think it was a girl that was the artist. Was it, or was it a guy?
Yes, yeah. They have changed artists, but yes, it was a female that you sent me.
And Donovan says the Absolute Mark Spear set looks awesome. I ordered a set of each foil and regular, as did I, good sir. So here's the connecting cover set he's talking about. It's Absolute Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman issue 1. Ladder prints of each one. It's not the same printing of each one. It's like the 8th of Batman, the 7th of Superman, 6th of Wonder Woman, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But they come together like butt cheeks to form this wicked cool picture. And yes, they come in regular and foil. I pre-ordered 2 sets as well. I'll be giving away a set and most likely a Legion loot down the road, and keeping a shiny foily set for myself.
And coming soon to a giveaway on Guess That Key, the foil set.
There you go. So you can get the regular foil set somewhere on this channel, or the regular set somewhere on this channel, and you can get a chance at the foil set somewhere over there on Guess That Key, which we will be live this Wednesday, because I will set alarms, and Paul's going to call me on my phone 30 minutes prior to the show.
But speaking of the Omega symbol that we saw in that timeline, we've seen that a couple places. We saw it at the bottom of the ocean, right, in Aquaman at the beginning of Aquaman #1. We just saw it on someone's forehead. That we'll talk about on.
Say it. You can say it.
Okay, Justice League Unlimited on Grodd's forehead in the latest We Are Yesterday chapter. So it's becoming more and more. And then obviously we saw it on the Legion of Darkseid on their uniform. So
yeah, we saw Lightning Lad, Cosmic Saturn Girl. We haven't seen anyone else yet, have we? Outside of that 2-page flash.
Just seen those 3. Yeah.
And Joseph Michael wants to remind everyone about the biggest comic book crossover event of 2025 is coming hot and heavy this week. He's got no patience, so we'll go there. Out this Wednesday, June 4th, round 2 of the biggest knockdown drag-out battle in comic history. The Titans of the Monsterverse faces the Trinity of the DC Universe. This time, after the events of the last one, it looks like they're going to be working more side by side than against each other. There's preview pages in the back of most of our books this week where we get to see King Shark is already kaiju'd out, and he gets starts a fight with Godzilla. I'm super excited. Tons of awesome covers. Dan Mora with issue 1 has a companion cover to the issue 1 he did for volume 1. John Jang has a freaking sweet cover for #1, and it's foil, I believe. Tons of covers. I'm down for all covers. I was telling Paul before the show, it's going to be an expensive week. That last 7-issue series, whether you're a Godzilla fan or a Kong fan or a Justice League fan, it was a book for you. You don't have to be a fan of all 3. It was a proper event, no tie-ins. It was vast in scale. It was fast-paced. You covered all your characters. It was just good. It got a little campy, as Godzilla stuff can at many times, but it played out really well. I highly recommend anybody picking up that collected volume and checking it out.
They're not going to beat the Godzilla and Kong Roar covers from the first issue of the first.
I haven't seen a cooler gimmick in comics ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's literally a cover that you open like the Hallmark card, and it roars, the Godzilla roar, or you can get the Kong cover and get the Kong.
You got to do it near a light. Yeah.
What's going on, Wellbore? What's going on, J-Med? Hello to y'all. Tate, what is happening, brother? How are you? But yeah, those were the big announcements from this week. Steve, haven't had a chance to talk to you about it. I think I mentioned it. I might have just mentioned this Tuesday during the DC stream, but the second season of Peacemaker has its full trailer out. And not only that, they gave us the identity of Michael Rooker's character. He's playing, what was it? Red Saint Wild, the foremost #1 bald eagle hunter who's after Eagly. So Eagly has an actual nemesis for this, and it's also comical that there's such thing as a bald eagle hunter in this country.
Right.
I'm not sure I've actually seen that trailer, to be honest with you. I saw
you haven't seen the Peacemaker trailer?
I don't think I've seen the full trailer. I might have, but
do you remember seeing Guy
Gardner
and Hawk Girl?
I remember seeing a teaser trailer, obviously.
Do you remember seeing Guy Gardner and Hawk Girl in the beginning of the trailer?
Yeah.
That was a full trailer. Like,
okay, then yeah, I've seen it. Yes.
Yeah, with that like legit full trailer, them running around.
It looked really good. It looked that room that they're like referencing that might be in a Superman movie is really interesting. Like, what do they call it? Like a pocket dimension or something like that?
Yeah, that's the fold out pocket dimension that Peacemaker's dad hit all of his super villainy stuff. You actually see it in the second trailer. They're running around in it and stuff. And James Gunn is alluding to it having something to do in the Superman movie. And he teased that we're going to get some major cameos that we're unaware of, and one big major cameo. So I'm thinking it might be Superman, or he might be holding a character back that we don't even know that's in play with the DCU yet.
I think it might be Blue Beetle, because I've heard a lot of things about Blue Beetle possibly being in the Superman movie, so I wouldn't be surprised if he's in
Yeah,
there.
so the Blue Beetle, the actor, I forget his name,
Solo Meridina.
and that's why I didn't attempt it.
Yeah, exactly.
So he's reprising the role of Blue Beetle for the animated show
Right.
that'll be coming to HBO
Great
Max.
actor.
And I'm excited for that. Finn was rocking his Blue Beetle shirt yesterday. That's a fun movie. I'm
It was
excited.
a great movie, dude. I loved it.
Mhm.
Yeah. I'm excited to see that continue.
I'm interested to see what happens there because the two peacemakers are going to meet and their symbols go different ways. One goes up and the other one goes down. So obviously different dimensions. So
Yeah, I think that also gives us, because they desperately need to do something about the continuity, even though like they have to do something because the general audience, like if you go to most of the Peacemaker trailers on social media and look at the comments, there's countless people that are confused. Like, wait,
yeah,
why are James Gunn characters in this when we had Snyder Justice League at the end of the last season? I don't understand because they don't follow this stuff like.
and that's
like
exactly why they need to only have one Batman.
Yes,
That's exactly why they need to just either move the Reeve Batman into the DCU or just get rid of that and start anew because people are going to be majorly confused.
check out this. The Adventurous one says the rumor is our Peacemaker might die and then be replaced with the ruthless looking one he meets in the pocket dimension. I just like the idea of them using the pocket dimension to like just let us meet a Snyder. Let a Snyder version one die. I don't know. Like you can explain your multiverse faux pas right now and close it all in one go. Like let's do that.
Let's
do that.
Let's see Captain Carrot or something crazy.
That's a pretty small gun for eagle hunting.
I would go with ambush bug.
Yeah.
Oh, I would love that. I mean, that's what DC's version basically of Deadpool breaking the fourth wall, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, predates it big time. Yep.
I've not watched the Gen V trailer. I'll be honest.
I haven't watched Gen V. I tried to.
Season 1 was weird.
The whole thing was just trash to me. I gave up on the boys. Like I get it.
I mean, I don't blame you for that.
It's just
it's not as good as Invincible.
The boys, I get the entertainment value out of it. I do. But like entertainment and quality don't converge sometimes, and that's how I feel about the boys. Like it's just there's nothing there other than the cringe stuff. And I don't know. I've pushed my own cringe meter so far that's it's my edge meter so far that's just cringe to me. I'm like, yeah, okay, this is your first time seeing kind of edgy stuff like this. I get it. I don't know.
Yeah, you'll be happy to hear, Mark, that I finished Andor this week.
How'd you feel about it?
It was good. Season 2 was really good. It actually kind of sets up. You can almost have a trilogy within a trilogy. You could have the series Andor, and then Rogue One, and then Episode 4 forms its own little trilogy within Star Wars.
I heard nothing but really good stuff about it. I just don't know if I'll ever get around to watching it, if I'm being honest with myself. It's a lot to catch up on, and it's one of those things that just like I'm sure it's good at this point. I've heard nothing but good stuff about it, but I just don't. I'm terrible about catching up. I just watch my own stuff. You know, I just got done binging The Studio on Apple TV, which was phenomenal.
Yes,
phenomenal. We're big advocates for Apple TV on this stream, Paul. Like everything that they put out is of the highest quality. This is Seth Rogen produced comedy, short episodes. It's about a movie studio where he's the studio head and they're just fighting for their lives to make things work. And it is so fun. Bryan Cranston is in it. Catherine, what's her name? Kevin's mom from Home Alone.
Yeah. I'll say Catherine Hahn is in it too. The Agatha. What's her name? She was in Second City Television too. She was in.
I think Sal is the breakout star of the show.
Catherine O'Hara.
Yes. Sal Saperstein is the breakout star of the show. Let me fix that. Andor is garbage. I've struggled through all of Star Wars stuff, and it hurt my soul. There you go.
And answer goes to Michael's. Yes, I did watch Andor. I watched Rogue One again after season 2, and it does hit weight.
It has more weight to it. I think Andor is the best. Not Andor. Rogue One, in my opinion, is the best piece of Disney era Star Wars by far. And then after that, it would be Mandalorian season 1 and 2. Season 3 goes straight in the dumpster really fast, but season 1 and 2, especially as they were airing, man, but it was just what a time, what an era. I remember season 1, Steve would get on his channel and do watch-alongs, and for that first season, I would have already watched the episode by the time he did that, and I would fire it up again and watch it a second time and sit there and talk to him.
It was a great show. Season
awesome.
1 was epic. Season 2 was not as epic. I haven't even watched season 3.
Yeah, definitely season 1 of Andor it took a little while to get going. Once it got going, it was pretty good. But season 2 there was tense moments all over the place. It was just incredible.
Yeah. Rogue One rules. Completely agree, Drew. Yeah, I don't know when I'll get time to go to Andor. What's unfortunate though is I end up like even Skeleton Crew, like I was enjoying it just fine. I ended up not finishing it because I got interrupted viewing it and didn't go back to it. Some of this stuff, even when it's well made, it just feels like a chore to me anymore. I don't know why.
And it was kind of cool. The way they did season 2 was, and you guys probably know this, but it's 12 episodes.
Yeah,
Each of the three episodes was another year, so that bridged season 1 to Rogue One. They did a year for each one.
Now, I'm kind of thinking I might do that. There's a 17-minute recap for season 1. I might just do that. But then I saw that. God, what is the name of that actor who plays in season 1 out opposite Diego Luna, the guy who's like building the rebellion? It's one of the Skarsgårds, I think.
Skarsgård, yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that monologue he does. I'm like, dude, I would watch 13 hours of this just so that monologue hits as hard as possible. Because that monologue is freaking awesome.
There's kind of a companion to it. Yeah, there's a companion to it in season 2 by another character.
Skeleton Crew also, I thought it was well done. I kind of just broke my thing with it. All right, now you just lost all credibility that quick. Mandalorian season 3 is still great. It's not. It's just not. We don't have to lie to ourselves. Like it's objectively not. Like you literally had studio interference by Kathleen Kennedy, who threw a wrench in the entire story, and they had to piece it together. Like it's always. And I'm not trying to jump on you, Drew, but it's always funny because like I keep up with like a lot of behind the scenes stuff and knowing what happened after the success of Mandalorian season 2, why we got the Book of Boba Fett, and how that directly threw a wrench in the Mandalorian story that they had written already, and they had to completely redo it, piece stuff together, wedge stuff into Boba Fett, and you could feel every bit of it. Was the special effects cool? Sure. The special effects were cool. Did we go to some places for the first time? Sure. But does that make it? No, that just means you wasted those things. Wasted them. Now I'll agree with you on this. Ahsoka was fire. That was so good that I even went back and had to catch up with Rebels. Like that was good.
They've started filming season 2.
What wasn't good is zombie stormtroopers. That was kind of like I get like a lot of this piggybacked on Rebels, and there's a lot of stuff from Clone Wars and Rebels with the witches and stuff. But when you're introducing it to a new audience, I think that they kind of took it a little too far too fast. Where the people that were already familiar with it, it didn't seem like anything. Like this is normal. But to the vast majority of people watching, they pretty much only keep up with the live action. So that was kind of going a little far. But Ahsoka was ooh-wee. I really enjoyed that. Life throwing up interruptions to you watching stuff is God's way of sparing you the pain of exposure to trash. It could be. It could be. Last time I was interrupted, it was by a hurricane that changed all of our lives, Pops, and it stopped me from having to watch any more Agatha. So well worth it. That was a fair trade. Fair trade. I started Andor, wanted to enjoy it, just couldn't. Yeah, the only people that's where I am. I used to say with season 1, there's 2 sets of people: the people that finished it and loved it, and the people that stopped at episode 3. And I'm still in the camp of the people that stopped at episode 3. John Stout, what is going on? Good to see you, homie. Make sure anything. Yep. Some good stuff. Let's see. I don't think do I have anything else in here to hit. All right. We got 16 people watching. I do want to remind everybody, as the last reminder, if you haven't entered it, you need to go back and enter the Epic Summer Giveaway. This is a massive month in July. Massive month. 3 mega tentpole blockbusters dropping in the same month. And in order to celebrate, I'm running an Epic Summer Giveaway and themed after these 3 films and more. So you want to go back, watch that video. There's numerous prizes, numerous ways to enter. So you don't want to miss out on that. And if you are a channel member in the Legion tier, You are entered on an exclusive wheel to yourself with prizes to yourself. And some of the prizes include, but not limited to, let's take a look at some of these. Got a CG 9.8 of Superman 12 signed by Lee Bermejo. There's also a Jurassic Park #1 double sign, George Perez and Walt Simonson. We've got an Origin of Galactus in the Marvel Supervillain Classics #1. Thunderbolt exclusive, Action Comics Metamorpho covers, one signed by Jeff Johns. We got some Mark Spears covers, some sketch variants of some cool books that I love and hope you will too. First appearance of Doomsday, The Death of Superman, the complete Superman for all seasons, the 2025 reprint of the first appearance of Metamorpho, some John Jang Star Wars, and the logo variant for Star Wars, as well as Raptor #1. So some cool stuff in there. Don't miss out on your opportunity.
And just added the Legend of Kingdom Come Blu-ray.
Yeah. No art cards. This movie, no art cards. So I'll definitely want to check those out. Again, if you're a channel member in the Legion tier, that's your best odds, that's your best chances at some of the big boy prizes. But there are prizes for anybody and everybody can enter. But yeah, I don't want to miss out on that. Did you already go over the pre-orders for the C3 art book? I'm ready to post a link if you want me to, Mark. I did, but you can definitely post it again if anybody missed out on that. We dropped the C3 art book pre-orders today. So if you're not going to Heroes Con, or if you want to make sure you don't miss it, or go ahead and buy one now to save up some more money so you're not spending so much while you're there, go to Big Cartel. comicsharingcancel.bigcartel.com. The link is in the description of my video. And Dale also is great at dropping links. So David Sanchez cover, amazing art inside as well. You don't want to miss out on that. Acolyte also has enjoyable elements. Overall a mess, but super saber duels and fun dark side stuff. 1000% agree. 1000% agree. And dude, I trashed that show episode by episode for everything it was worth, and I praised that show whenever it had something worth praising. And one thing that they did that has been years in the making was they fixed the lightsabers at Disney. One thing that Disney did when they took on and bought Lucasfilms is they wanted to start using more practical lightsabers instead of CGIing so much of the lightsaber. They use these bigger, heavier hilts and actual lightsabers that they actually clank together and stuff that took away from some of your ability to do the wild choreography. And once we did the prequels, you can't really go back. And that's what they did in Disney for so long. The Acolyte was the first time we saw Jedi fighting since episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. It was the first time. That scene in the woods was amazing, was magical. But it's bad when the little heart and soul kid character of the team gets stabbed 14 times in the chest, and all I do is laugh because they're all so unlikable. Who cares? But the choreography was all there. The rest of it, dumpster fire. But I'm excited to see what they do next with lightsabers now that they've unlocked the cheat code. We got them back. There we go. J-Med got his. Looked at the Dope Hulk shirt. Do you know if they are purple shirts? I do, because if you go back and watch channel, I've been wearing that exact shirt on numerous streams already. I've had mine for a while. Just haven't been able to show the back. You can order it in purple or black. I made sure.
Are you guys accepting stuff to be given away to sell at the con? Like, let's say someone shows up with like a bunch of books to give away, or
if people want to donate to C3, yeah, we will accept donations. It'll get like rolled into the actual, like that's what we kind of do. We kind of section off like what we're doing throughout the year. We plan and prep for this, and then right after Heroes Con, we'll start the campaign soliciting for donations and everything. But if there's people at the convention, if they went and bought a key book off the wall and come over, hey, I want to donate this to the event, thank you so much. I'll take it, go under the table. It'll drive back home with me and most likely get shipped to Rob, because at this point after C3 he has people that come over and volunteer and help him pack orders up and stuff like that. And it's good just to have it all centralized, but he can't fly all that stuff back.
No.
Love DC like logo on the C3 books.
Yeah.
It looks so clean. Yeah, that's the minimal trade dress, which if only there was a DC stooge as part of the C3 crew that would have thought of that. I don't contribute much to that, but I'm like, hey, we should do a minimal trade dress like the DC variants. Yeah, it looks clean. Clean. It really does. By the way, my sister in Florida heard about me giving Snow White an 8 out of 10, and she says I'm dead to her now. That's super fair. You got a lot of making up to do. I'm streaming BO6 this season is crazy. So what is BO6?
I'm not sure.
Give us some context. Not familiar. We'll be getting a purple one on payday. Sanchez killed it. He really did. The costuming was also on point. Plus, Master Kalnaka is dope. Give me all the Jedi Wookiees. Yeah, I'll give you that. Yeah, and it was a kind of like an ensemble cast when we get that crew of Jedi. So I would have liked to have a little bit more. But where that show was bad, it just takes away from everything with it. Everything.
He was a Jedi Wookiee, but they really didn't do much with him.
You do nothing with him. Do nothing with him. You killed him off and had him just one time at the end. I mean, I don't even want to go down this rabbit hole again, but I can sit here and just point out like 5 or 6 things that just ruined the whole thing. And like the most blatant one was when the Jedi were talking. They're trying to portray the Jedi like they're these bad people that just take your kids, but they're asking explicitly for permission and saying we're not taking your kid without permission. And then they end up. The woman says like goes all smoke monster on her, so they like, oh my god, what's happening, and react to save their own life. And then she comes back, oh my god, I was going to let my child go with you. Like the thing was so stupid. All of it was so stupid. Trying to redefine the Force, having characters in there out of continuity timeline, and yes, they had to rewrite like the Wikipedia stuff on a lot of these. It's stupid. You had self-indulgent people who are not familiar with this stuff go read cliff notes on Star Wars and then try to come create something because I want to do the first thing on the timeline. It's just, fuck those people. All of them. What's going on, Bryant? You're going to be fired up about the Acolyte all again. I didn't even know that was possible. Acolyte is gone. It's over. It failed.
I rented a DC animated movie the other day.
Which one?
Which one?
Reign of the Supermen.
Oh, fire, dude.
It was
you
really
watch it back to back with Death. There's a cut that's just one straight through.
Yeah, I'd already seen Death of Superman.
Mm-hmm.
At one point, it was on the Max app, and I watched it. It's not on there right now, so I was like, yeah.
They announced today that they're about to add, like, I think it was like 12, 15 DC titles are being added to Max in the coming month.
Good, yeah. Well, yeah, I rented it. Really, really, really good.
8. I'm sorry.
Hey, that's still good. Which ones are coming? Is there a list?
Superman, Batman, Battle of the Super Sons, which is really, really good. Unique animation style to itself. Jeremy Adams actually wrote that
written by Jeremy Adams, yeah.
Reign of the Supermen is coming. Superman, Man of Tomorrow, which is the first installment in the Tomorrow version, was pretty solid. Superman, Red Sun, which was great. Mark Miller's story. Superman Unbound, which is great. It's really just the adaptation of Superman Brainiac by Jeff Johns and Gary Frank. Super great. Public Enemies, which is like really the first one that kicked us off into that era where we're going to adapt specific stories and mimic the art style.
I was saying it looked like Ed McGuinness.
Yeah,
the art.
They mimic Ed McGuinness art style, and then of course in Apocalypse they did the Michael Turner, which Death of Superman is also coming, Steve. So Reign and Death are both coming, and Teen Titans Go season 9B, all getting added to HBO Max for June.
Sweet.
Super solid. That old smoke thing with her was about as bad as Ellie and Dina. The whole "I'm pregnant, let's screw" thing completely out of it. Yeah, we can talk about that. The newest episode of The Last of Us dropped. Holy potatoes! That show.
Yeah, and the finale.
Was that the finale?
The finale just aired last Sunday.
That was the finale last week.
Where it went, where it did a whole Sopranos thing where it went to black.
Yep, that was the finale.
That's the finale.
So next season is going to be very Abby centric.
Yeah, apparently.
Wait a minute, there's no episode tonight.
No. Apparently, the third game is done from the viewpoint of Abby, and so we're going to switch to Abby.
Is there a third game?
That's what I heard.
So I think what Nick was telling me. So Nick is my guy for The Last of Us. So he told me that when you play after the Joel episode, when Joel went golfing with Abby, after that episode, Nick told me, he goes, the crazy thing is after this scene in the game, they make you play as Abby and keep her alive.
Okay, so maybe that's what maybe it's part of the second game, not the third game. But the story switches and you see Abby and so we're going to get the third season is supposedly going to be from the perspective of Abby.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I enjoyed that last episode a lot. I'm glad that Jesse caught up with him. I've been waiting on Tommy to get back into the story because after that Battle of Richmond episode, I'm like, God, Tommy's awesome. Like, I'm fine. We can lose Joel. We got Tommy. It'll work out. But then we haven't had him much, and like kind of just watching her go through what she did to try to get to Abby. But she ended up scoring 2 more notches on her belt, technically 2.5 each. But that was brutal. The woman's like, you got to save it. I'm like, oh my God, now. You just made your worst nightmare come true because you're trying to protect Dina, and now you're looking at what can happen to Dina, but this happened by your hands.
Yep.
But that was a crazy moment when they hear Tommy scuffle and go running out the auditorium, and they open the door and Jesse falls. Boom, gone, just like that. Just snap your finger and he's gone.
No one is safe on that show, honestly.
That's like when Derek Reese got killed in season 2 of the Sarah Connor Chronicles. Fantastic show, by the way. You just didn't see it coming. Like, he'd been there since season 1. And he just bends a corner and then he's just on the floor gone. You're like, no. And because of the Terminator that got him, it doesn't even stop to care. The camera doesn't linger on him. You just keep moving. You're like, we're just going to... He's gone? It was crazy.
Or like when Robb Stark got killed in Game of Thrones. Like, no one saw that coming.
No.
The thing that I liked about The Last of Us is both in the first season and in the second season, they had one episode. Like in the first season, it was the episode with Nick Offerman, the two gay guys, right? That episode.
Mm-hmm.
And then in this episode, it was a flashback with all the birthdays and everything.
That was an amazing episode.
They have these really, really heavy emotional episodes that, you know, that kind of just talk to you about what life and death is. You know, it's like, and it's just the way that it's written and the way that it's acted. It's just been incredible. Those 2 episodes of the past 2 seasons. Hey, Finn.
Hey, bud.
Hi.
I didn't recognize you. You were clothed.
Yeah. The Last of Us is falling off. Expect cancellations. I don't think it's anywhere close to that. Pop says, hey.
Hi.
Oh, there's no other canceling.
Sarah Connor Chronicles is one of my all-time favorites. Yeah, I love that show, dude. Love that show. There's only 2 games. Naughty Dog said there is no 3rd game. Season 3 of the show will be all about Abby's journey. Yep.
There you go.
That's what it's going to be. Which con did they start the Peacemaker panel at, Steve?
It's a Mexico con, CC something. Hold on. I'll tell you. CCXP.
Oh, yeah.
So for those that are unaware, Steve over here has a channel membership over on his channel, and he's piggybacking with us tonight. He was going to run a giveaway for some of his folks over there, and he said he's going to jump on with us and run the giveaway. Kind of take advantage.
I'll if you make me big, I'll show off the books, and then you can click on the shared screen that I have.
Absolutely. Right. So he's going to run that tonight, but we're going to go ahead and do that because after this, me and Paul are about to start spoiling the hell out of some books. So I'm thinking you might.
I'll probably jump out of here at that point.
Yeah, because a lot of these books are going to be on your pull list, and I don't hold it against you.
Yep. All right. So I'm just going to run through this really quick. These are all books. This is the only one that was not given to me by the 616. Scotty Young, 1 of 50, signed by him.
Nice.
It's like a 9.4, 9.2, unfortunately. It's from a mystery bag. Okay, Hulk number.
You didn't have to announce that.
Well, I said it when I announced it anyways.
Is that a Bjorn Barons?
Like a Bjorn Barons, yeah.
Spider-Man number 9.
Oh, that's really nice.
Spider-Man number 7.
Hey, can you ask them to send me the script for season 3? Because we time jump to the future and we find out that the villain from the first 2 seasons was actually a T-1000 sent back to protect John Connor, and we get left on a cliffhanger that she's a good guy and takes him to the future. So if you could just send me the script, I've looked for it for years online. I just want to know what happens next. That would be great.
This is my favorite cover of all of them. X-Men number 1.
Oh, it looks like a Zerdy almost. Is that a Zerdy?
Ivan Tau. Yeah.
Oh.
Spider-Man 15. I'm looking for the artist's name. I don't see it on here. Sit cover 2, Spider-Man 25. A lot of Marvel.
We don't hold it against you too much.
And Wolverine I think it's number 1, Carrie Andrews.
Oh,
I like that
And-
old school trade dress on there.
There's going to be some extra books I throw in that are readers' copies that were exclusives that were damaged, but can still be read and enjoyed.
there you go.
And the good thing about the non-damaged one, believe it or not, they can be read too. There are still
Yes.
words in them. It's up to you.
Yes,
It's up to you.
absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, so these are all the people that are entered to win. Cliff on Comics, Eric, Weinmeister, Chris Flodamarin, Rob's Fat Stacks, Mike V, ABX Comics and Games, my long distance comic shop, Jonathan, Collectibles to Astonish, Oregon Wine, MSG, of course, Mark from Legion of Comics, Beckerman, Paul from Sector 2815,
I
and
know him.
Dale of Suspense. So, anyone that's not a channel member, go ahead and tell me how many times I should shuffle it. And then I will shuffle it, and then I'll run it. Yo, what up, Cliff?
You said anyone that's not a channel member?
Yeah. Someone that's like
Give us a number, buddy. Okay,
4.
Joe said
It said
4.
4. That's the first one I see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good luck to all the Burke fam channel members.
Drew, this is a thing that he does over on his channel. He's just piggybacking because of his schedule tonight. So you're going to have to head over to his channel. This is something he did over there. Yes.
Yo.
We're just letting him abuse
Boom.
our time slot for tonight, buddy.
Yeah. Thank you, Paul.
I
Congratulations.
believe that would be me.
Yeah. Still live at the same place?
I do.
I think I have your.
Oh,
address.
Cliff's leaving now. He was just here for that. I see how it is. Nice, folks.
Yeah.
Good stuff. So yeah, there's a handful of books that we're definitely about to go through. I'm excited for them. Steve, feel free to stay. I'm sure we're going to hit a handful that are not on your pull list.
All right.
If you're interested, I'm actually going to. Have you read Superman Unlimited yet, Steve? Did that come in yet?
No, I have not.
Okay.
Nope. But I've heard good things.
Yeah, I just wanted to. I've
You
got.
can talk about
I
it.
know
I'm sure I'll
there's
still
plenty
be.
on here I know are not on your pull list that I read. God, I think the majority of these might not be on your pull list. We're about to start burning through some of these right here. So it's been a big week for reading for me. A couple of them were from last week. The majority of them are from this week. And I was able to get out there and just binge read this weekend. But the first one was the penultimate issue for Defenders of the Earth. Mad Cave is putting out a lot of good stuff. I picked this up because it's a great TV show from back in the day. I had a few of the VHSs that Pops had. It's a fun team. Mandrake, Lothar, Flash Gordon. But most importantly, the Ghost Who Walks, the Phantom is on the team. And that's what really got me to get it. Dan DiDio is actually
Dan DiDio, yeah.
Yeah, Dan DiDio is writing it. It's an 8-page story. It kind of picks up where the television show left off and goes on. It's action-packed. You have they're in the villages where Lothar is from with a whole invasion from Ming's kid and the ice soldiers and stuff. It's just action-packed funness, just trying to shut him down and stop him. That volume 1, they're doing it in 2 trades. So volume 1 is out and available. If you're interested in that old nostalgia stuff, some of those characters from old that are still around that, I mean, they just don't get old to me. But either y'all get the Peacemaker Presents Vigilante and Eagly.
Mm-hmm.
This is bananas, dude. Like this is pure insanity. So it's done in 2 stories. Vigilante has a little story where he's trying to shut down some local like crime operations and stuff, but he's psychopath. So he thinks like because he misheard someone, he thinks that there's this big villain called the Controller who's making people into machines, and he could be one of the machines. Anyone can be a machine. But they're really just people that like steal cars and run just black market stuff, and their lives have gone to hell because this psychopath thinks that they're really doing this bigger operation. Now, if you think about it, it reminds me of that old Woody Harrelson movie called Defendor. He was like a guy who wasn't all there in the head, and he put on a vigilante costume and was trying to find the titan of industry who ran all the crime in the city. It reminds me of that. But then the Eagly story, this whole League of Assassins like is downed an airplane, is just sport hunting all the survivors, and Peacemaker and Eagly are there fighting back. But it's definitely toned after the show, very R-rated,
Gun approved,
violent.
his name's
brutal.
on it.
Yeah, James Gunn slapped his name on it, of course, but it's a Tim Seeley book. Who knows
Right.
how much what James. They talk about pegging a lot, so maybe James Gunn did write it. I don't know. It's a little wild. Energon, G.I. Joe issue number 7. We got a familiar character there coming in, running an operation. We find out that Flint and Lady J are kind of running a sub faction of the Joes, going a little bit harder in the paint, and they just recruited what's his face here? I done forgot his daggum name. He's like the good guy version of Firefly. I don't know. I forget his name. There's a lot of characters, but it was fun. Dick Tracy number 10. The story arc wraps up with the finale to the blank. You know, they're not going to do it straight like they did in the Beachhead. Thank you, Cliff. Beachhead. They're not going to do it like they did in the movie. Obviously, the blank isn't going to be Madonna in this. There's a twist to it, but very violent. Dick Tracy gets down to it. It's really just this dirty cop with this weird past. And this is, again, hard-hitting, old character, kind of written in modern-day light. If you like Dick Tracy, this is pretty solid. Good detective story. Again, super violent. Just crime, violent. Tommy guns, people getting gutted. But I like the old Warren Beatty movies, some of the old cartoons. Pops had the old black and white serials on VHS. So it's just a character that kind of sticks with you. Hyde Street was insane this week. Don't know if anyone else read that.
I did.
There you go. So they're plotting. They're on Hyde Street, and all these different contenders are trying to get out of Hyde Street. But you have Pranky, the world's most dangerous Boy Scout, who's actively claiming souls left and right, so much so that other people can't claim any to get their quota to get back to the land of the living. So Mr. X-Ray goes to Lady Goodbody and tries to make a plan to kind of get around Pranky, claim some souls, and goes home. So in this issue, Pranky is punishing her for even talking to Mr. X-Ray about ruining his plans, torturing her, and Mr. X-Ray trying to devise a plan on how he can collect souls, ends up getting a whole busload of people into a movie theater and taking them all out, and realizing that I don't need to just plan one thing. I need to create a mob mentality inside of Hyde Street to try to find a way out of here. What did you think of that, Paul?
I liked it. I was a little bit concerned about did you read the Who's Who page
So I
at all?
started to read some of it, but I didn't want any information about him. I went through the top of the unknown, and then I read the first paragraph on how he gives people, like, every how many years he allows one to join the competition.
I was confused because it says his first appearance was in Ghost Machine number 2.
I haven't got that book. Haven't even seen it yet.
There is no Ghost Machine number 2.
Yeah,
that's why.
I'm gonna have to email them about that. Hey, I warned y'all about trying to claim these appearances.
Mm-hmm. But it was good. I was a little bummed that, again, Ivan Reese did not do the art, because I had thought that since they had such a time from when Ghost Machine started and when they actually released the first Hyde Street, that he would be issues and issues and issues ahead.
Yeah, I wonder if there's just a fill-in issue. I don't know. Dick Tracy gets shorter in the snow. That's pretty funny. I see what you did there. Steve, are you reading Wonder Woman?
I'm not. I was actually just about to type in my poll for the week, but I'm not currently reading that by Tom
We'll throw
King.
it in there. Tom King's Wonder Woman issue number 21 came out last week, but it's the finale to the 2-part story. What's up, Steve?
I am not reading that, but I am reading Absolute Wonder Woman.
I knew that. But this was a Hercule Poirot, Agatha Christie style murder mystery on Mount Olympus. Ares is dead. The knife of Hephaestus is still in him, and he's dead next to Wonder Woman's mom, Hippolyta. She's on the hook for the death, and Wonder Woman goes and grabs Batman to go investigate. And through their investigation, they find out that Hephaestus is jealous of Aphrodite because Ares conceded in him about having sympathy for the mortals that he sends to war. Found out that he gained this sympathy from his time talking and experiences with Wonder Woman, learned the value of human lives, and now Zeus looks down on him for these mere mortal emotions, and it was Zeus, in fact, that killed him. It was a fantastic issue. It was fun. I'm excited for Daniel Sampier to return to the title and the regular story to get rocking and rolling again. What did you think of this one, Paul?
I liked it. I think I mentioned this in the last episode, too. I mean, the last issue too. But one of the things I really like is when they do certain things that kind of remind me of certain things. Like this goes with the 9-panel. And whenever I see a 9-panel page, I always think of Watchmen, which in essence really was, for the most part, at least at the beginning, was a murder mystery.
Yeah.
Right. And that's the same thing that they do here with the 9 panels. And so it's kind of, to me, it's kind of calling back to Watchmen and things like that. But yeah, Tom King, again, just kind of knocks it up back. And he gave he gave Batman some heart too. So
It really did. A little bit. It's fun
you're
when you
enjoying
have those moments.
you're enjoying Hush, Steve. Did you hear that the next issue is going to be 30 days late?
I did not know that, but it's better
160
than what happened at the last Ronin,
Yeah,
and
161
also what happened with Doomsday Clock.
is gonna come out in the end of July.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Hush 2 issue 1 I thought was solid. Place setter, format setter. Part 2, I'm like, what are we doing? That's kind of what I thought. Like, what are we doing? I wasn't like, I'm not throwing it out, but I was asking myself, I'm wondering what we're doing. And I think I caught on that this even though it's Batman 158, 159, 160, it's still a standalone title that's not continuing the continuity from the main run. We pretty much put the main Batman run on hiatus, and we're still telling a story inside the pages of it. It seems like it's only servicing itself. The original Hush book.
As I say, the only thing it's referencing is the first one.
Yeah, which in that sense, I like. So it's kind of like a shift into remembering, into getting back familiar with it. But I'll tell you right now, not going deep into spoilers, part 3 I thought was a banger. Well, what I felt was missing from part 2. I'm like, I'm ready to get this kind of rocking and rolling and going. It was there in part 3. You kind of get that the sense of stakes. We kind of get some cool characters. You kind of get that villain introduction that you're waiting on. We have some questions we want answered in terms of who's going to be our villain in this. Is it straight up Hush? What are we doing? And then that finale to it, did not expect those characters to come in, and when they did, it was with a bang. I really, really enjoyed that. I'm like, that's what set Hush apart. It just the character interactions, like just throwing it all in there, putting both feet into the story, and we're doing that. I think.
Oh yeah, I mean the first Hush when you saw Jason Todd, and then it turned out to be Clayface, and it was just like,
Original Hush is good, not great. I put it outside my top 3 Batman stories. It's around top 5. Dude, saying top 5 Batman stories, there's not a book in the list that wouldn't be great. There's so many Batman stories and so many good ones.
Yeah.
Anything in a top 10 I would say probably a great story, right?
I haven't read every single Batman book ever or every storyline ever, obviously. But for me, it's not better than The Court of Owls. It's not better than Batman Year One. It's not better than Batman The Dark Knight. It's not better than any of those. It's not better than The Killing Joke, in my opinion. Now,
you're naming masterpieces right now, so that's
I am.
That's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, exactly. You can go right along with go back to Denny O'Neil and Neil Adams stuff that you could the first Ra's al Ghul.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's some Death in the Family. Like, there's some legendary stories that take place.
Still not amazing to me either. I feel like that could be. It's good, not great.
Which one?
Death in the Family.
Oh man, I think it's great, especially for its time era. But
for its era, yes, it's good for its era.
Their mileage may vary, but there's a lot of great Batman stories. Like, let's put it this way: if you take Hush and you compare it to anything written from Marvel in the last 15 years, it's laughable how good it is.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Laughable how good it is.
I do agree with that.
Where'd that comment go? Marvel is comics. Drew picking on Drew tonight. But yeah, part 3 was solid. I enjoyed the hell out of it. It kind of put me back in the pocket. I'm kind of sad to see there'll be a 30-day delay on it. It makes me wonder if that'll push back the Mac Fraction run starting in August. Don't know. Department of Truth issue number 30 dropped this week. It was super solid. No point trying to recap it unless you're reading it. It'll never make any sense to you, but it feels like it's all coming to a head. What you got, Paul?
I was going to go with, I know you haven't read this one yet, Steve, but this was last week for us. Superman Unlimited, number 1.
I want to read it so bad.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we can non-spoiler that one really easy.
Yeah, I was gonna say the thing that I loved about it is, and this is, it's a number 1 issue, but they're going after people who may just be getting this because they're going to see the movie. I think so.
I felt that way too at the Summer of Superman.
It's hard to
Festival.
believe that there are people who don't necessarily know the history of Superman, but
Right.
Dan Slott, I think, does a very good job of telling you Superman's history of the past 20 years while weaving it into a current story that he's telling as well.
Yeah, when I did a non-spoiler talk on it 2 Tuesdays ago on the new DC Day stream and said this would make Jim Shooter proud. This could be anybody's first comic book and they'll get a ton out of it. Or you can be a lifelong Superman fan and you'll get a ton out of this. Going into this, I was super nervous after reading the Dan Slott excerpt in the Summer of Superman. Like, it was just stupid. I stopped reading and went and looked at the credits in the front to see who was writing this. And I'm like, Dan Slott, oh no. And then the free comic book thing, I'm like, nah, some red flags are going off. Then I read this, I'm like, well, there's those red flag moments, but then it was at the beginning and the rest of the story was just so freaking good. I really hope that he leaves whatever baggage he might have in the other room when he goes to sit down and continue writing this. I'm still cautiously optimistic about what can come, but that first issue was amazing. So good.
Excited to read it.
Yeah, you're gonna love it, dude. I promise.
I'm trying to decide if I want to get my stuff after this next week or the week after, because the week after, more really great stuff. Because this week you got Absolute Green Lantern and you have Absolute Superman coming out, but the following week you got Absolute Batman, you got Action Comics, you got Aquaman, you got Supergirl #2, both Team and T books for me. I mean, there's a lot. So I'm trying to
Ryan, I completely agree. I picked those up as they came out. I was shocked with how good those were. And it was cool getting to see the slow descent into madness because I'm not saying he did anything that was justified, but you can understand like the cause and effect of that poor character as he went through that. Real solid. Ghost Machine still rocking. Are either of y'all still pulling Ghost Machine?
I've never read a single one.
Hornsby and Halo. This was, I kind of think this was, that felt like the ball got rolling a little bit. Finally, we're only 7 issues in, and now we have some villains. Finally, it looks like we have a rogue angel and a rogue demon that make a blood pact in order to try to go stop our highborn, our main characters, from accepting their destiny. They keep getting stopped by their guardian angel called the Adjudicator, but they came prepared and set a trap for the Adjudicator. The hollow, was it the hollow one? And that was pretty creepy. Just this Titan-sized creature come walking up, shaped like a man, and when he speaks, it's just silence, and his chest opens and draws the Adjudicator in. And now these 2 poor kids are going to have to fight on their own in the next issue. We'll see what happens, but I kind of enjoyed this issue.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I've said this multiple times, but it's kind of, it's like New Gods and Super Sons kind of mashed together. But yeah, this is the first time where we kind of, we see what's going on, almost without them. The things that are going on in hell and in heaven, and how they're trying to deal with these 2 kids out there. So, it actually did pretty well. So, but my favorite Ghost Machine one this week was this one.
Redcoat freaking rocked. Issue number 12.
I love the fact that every issue for Brian H has a wraparound cover for it.
Yeah, and that one specifically features the characters from across the unnamed universe. You got Junkyard Joe on there, Geiger on there. So it's like teasing and leading up to the ultimate meeting of these characters, which we know is going to happen from the final issue of Junkyard Joe Volume 1. And now we have the Northerner, which clearly is our catalyst to get these characters together. He's clearly a time walker. He has future tech guns. He's got space boots. And he's come back to address Simon Pure during the Civil War, who was kind of not choosing a side, just using the war just to make money. He's pretty much a messenger for whoever pays him. Like he's not fighting for the Confederate. He's not fighting for the Union. He's just an employee of whoever needs help. And the Northerner shows up, explains to him, keep in mind who you are and what you are, that your immortality, your mortality is tied to this country, to America. And the way this war goes, if you don't choose a side and choose correctly, there won't be an America left, which means there won't be a you left. Who do you think the little girl is?
Not
It's gotta
sure.
be it's got to be somebody, right?
Yeah, you would think so. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be somebody. So this story last issue, like a little girl who was working in a textile factory ended up pulling a fast one and running for her life, getting saved by Simon and Northerner. Basically, she's their companion right now. She's just with them as they're moving through this stuff, trying to figure out who this character called the Cobbler is, who hired Simon to deliver a message to the Confederacy that would for sure win them the battle, ultimately winning them the war. The Cobbler is a character who has a safe locker in his house with future weapons, with Snicker bars. He's clearly also somebody who's experienced different time and places outside of the Civil War, and they're out to shut him down and ultimately protect history in the process. But while doing this, there's this little girl that's with them, and the way that this story goes, and one of the most enjoyable things about it is the way that it plays with real life American history, and it kind of
maybe
retcons some
Harriet
stuff.
Tubman.
I was thinking that possibly, right? Because at her age, it kind of would lead us after this to like the era of the Underground Railroad and stuff. And well, they would already be in that era right now. I guess Harriet would be a little bit older. I don't know, but she's going to be somebody. I'm excited to find out. Here's one that I know is not on Steve's list, so he might be interested to find out what happens in it. It's a brand new #1 from DC Comics, and it's relevant to what's happening this summer in cinemas across the world. Superman's dropping, and he's not coming alone. He's coming with a laundry list of characters, some of which you might be excited about, some of which you're wondering why they're even in the movie. But one that I'm definitely excited about, who's not his first time on screen, just his first time on the big screen, that's none other than Michael Holt, Mr. Terrific, the world's third smartest man.
He is getting this. That was
That's
on
on
his
my
list.
It's on your list?
It's on my list.
Go. Let's go. So there's no reason to really get into like actual story ruining spoilers on this one, but it kind of just recaps who Mr. Terrific is by recapping the events that happened on the Watchtower during the DC All-In Special. And any of the books you read this week, it has that scene in there. But then it goes back to the early days of Michael Holt. It's telling a story from not long after the passing of his wife and child, where he's sold his company to the first bidder, and how that company and what they're doing is affecting people. And he has a friend coming to him and addressing how his wife wouldn't want to see him living like this, just kind of just not taking care of himself. He needs to get out there. He needs to get back to living and stuff. And it's going to be a corporate espionage style story that ultimately ends with him getting his terrific tech back. That's what the plot summary for this arc will be. And I enjoyed it, man. I enjoyed it. The art was solid. The characters were intriguing. You get the Tony Stark vibe from this tech genius. Like ultimately, you take the iron suit off of him. That's Tony Stark. They're just geniuses with big tech companies, cool inventions and gadgets. He even has the glasses in this. It's pretty cool. That's how I feel, Steve. But Ghost Machine, like I'm getting all of Ghost Machine, I'm getting all of Energon, I'm getting all of Miller World, I'm getting so much of the Dynamite Hanna-Barbera stuff with the Space Ghost, the Herculoids, the Terminators, the Phantom stuff at Mad Cave, the Dick Tracy stuff at Mad Cave right now, and then the DC stuff. It's just massive pull list, and I'm loving all of it. And I was just telling Paul before we started, IDW gets one character from me, but unfortunately that character has 57 titles a month. One of the best ones I ever read is Godzilla Here There Be Dragons, but second to that has to be this current Godzilla Heist. Issue number 3 is out. We got the bobbing art covers, which are always just amazing. This guy created like pretty much a dog whistle for Godzilla. It's like a super violent heist style story. A bunch of criminals get together and they're going in to ultimately try to steal and control Mechagodzilla. So like whoever controls Mechagodzilla is considered to be the most powerful person on the planet. Like in a world with kaijus, like nuclear bombs are only so relevant, but he who controls this Mechagodzilla tech is the world's most powerful human. So corporate espionage, crooks, dishonest governments, all fighting for control of Mechagodzilla, and they've summoned Godzilla to the area, and the Godzilla attack is happening so they can sneak in and get it. The sneaking in there is not smooth either. A lot of people are dying in the process. It's wild. Good stuff though. All right, so there's three in my hand right now that are probably the big 3 of the week. The penultimate issue for We Are Yesterday is happening in the pages of Justice League Unlimited number 7. Absolute Wonder Woman is back on track after our 2-issue layover. It's issue number 8. So Hayden, what's his name? Hayden Sherman is
Hayden
back on
Sherman.
interiors, kicking off a brand new story arc, and some brand new Wonder Woman villains are getting brought into the Absolute universe. And Steve's favorite, Absolute Martian Manhunter number 3, and kind of the same thing. Like, now that we've got the introduction of the Martian, the confusing nature of it is kind of hitting its stride and getting into a story of hero, villain, operating, moving together in tandem. All 3 of those dropped this week. And Sector and myself have went through them in the DC deep dive. So page by page, plot point by plot point, all of that airs tomorrow at 10 a.m. on his channel. So hit the link down below. Subscribe to Sector 2815. Check that out every Monday. And don't forget, every other Wednesday is Guess That Key, the live show that happens on his channel, where you got some guests on there. Come join in the live chat. There's big prizes every time he does it. So every other Wednesday, there's an episode. This coming Wednesday, you don't want to miss out on that. Peacemaker Vigilante is hilarious. Yeah, absolutely. And read and learned about Mr. Terrific. Both of them were solid this week. They really were. All right, I got how many more you got in your stack there,
2.
Paul? 2. I got 3. Why do I have 3 and you have 2 when I'm looking at these 3 and I know you pull all 3 of them?
Maybe I haven't read one of them yet.
That's fair.
Green Lantern 23.
Is there this one you haven't
I did
read?
not read that one. Yeah, that I haven't
I
read
knew
that
it. Oh, so there ain't no chance he didn't read one of these.
Yeah.
First book I read this week was
Me
Green
too.
Lantern.
23
Yeah.
and Superman 26.
Yep. So Green Lantern 23 dropped, and not only did it drop, it dropped with the Spectre on the cover.
Yeah.
So I've been waiting for something about the Spectre. We saw what happened to him in the DC All-In special that kicked off the Absolute Universe. Darkseid went on that tirade across the cosmos to get to the Spectre, to rip the wrath of God, the actual vengeance of God with a capital G, rip it from Jim Corrigan and force it into himself to make himself strong enough to cross that threshold of ultimate death and rebirth that created the Absolute Universe. We haven't seen the Spectre since. I've been theorizing potentially his entity is like imbued in the creation of the Absolute world, but it turns out that's not the case. That case is he's just untethered from Jim. He's looking for a host, and Hal runs across him. I'm
gonna get out of here before I hear any more spoilers, and I gotta
You
go
might
pick up my
want to,
wife.
because
So,
I'm talking about this one. All right, bro. Appreciate you hopping on.
thanks for having me, man, and congrats, Paul.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
Absolutely.
congrats.
Absolutely. All right, guys, take it easy, and we are Legion.
Peace.
You go.
So he runs across the Spectre, and you get a face-to-face with Hal Jordan and the Spectre. The Spectre is like telling him, like, we need to bond. We need to do this. And we've been the vengeance before. We've been the wrath of God. He has been the host of the Spectre for like an iconic run in the Green Lantern and the Spectre history. And Hal, not afraid of this entity, stares him down, tells him, I know your gimmick. I know you. This only works if I volunteer, and I do not volunteer. Ultimately leaving the Spectre untethered. And I don't know how many of y'all remember, but if we go back 3-4 years in Justice League proper, before issue 75 with the death of Justice League, we had it might have been right before the Bendis era, that short-lived Bendis era of Justice League before issue number 75 when they died. They did that little 2-3 issue story arc where the Spectre was untethered, and the Justice League had to go out there and investigate these happenings and stuff, and they had to deal with an untethered Spectre. It's not a good thing. It's not a good thing. This essence needs to be tethered. It's meant to be tethered to a mortal. But what'd you think of this amazing issue?
I loved it, but also because I want to know more about exactly what Hal Jordan did as the Spectre and how he captured Idia, if that's how you pronounce his name. The guy that he takes, and
The guy that's
how,
in there.
yeah, and how that's I think it's gonna be another emotional spectrum, because he has that lamp that has the light. He needed that light. So I'm looking forward to that.
In the Spectre series, he almost destroyed the world. Eesh. And not only that, if you're a fan of fantastic cover art, there was an amazing variant for this one. I'm not big on always getting variants, but these Mark Spears Green Lantern covers have been exceptional. He did a cool connecting cover set. He did a beautiful John Stewart cover. This one kind of pairs with the John Stewart, that close up with it's just it looks awesome. I'm thinking about taking the Mark Spears ones and just showcasing them behind my Green Lantern figures little setup. They'd be a great backdrop, this awesome.
Yeah. I mean, some of them were ratios, the last couple ones, but this one wasn't. So
yeah, it was great. Super, super dope cover. Just, man, I'm a sucker for painted stuff and the way that Mark Spears plays with the color palettes and stuff. It's awesome. First Batman comic was The Long Halloween. I read it twice before I bought Dark Victory. Dude, amazing story. And Dark Victory is fantastic as well. I think I just keep, is that the one? Yeah. Everything's in arm reach, my friend. Jeff Love and Tim Sale. It's important to keep everything in arm's reach. But yeah, Dark Victory is good too. But Long Halloween, man, that's next level good. Next level good. Even the animated movie adaptation they did for Long Halloween, part 1, I would say is a 10 out of 10 animated feature film, especially adapting source material. Part 2, I mean, the story is what the story is. The first half of the story is definitely a stronger half, but part 2 was solid. But that first half was just amazing. Next up, Detective Comics 1097. 1097. One that Paul hasn't read, but we finished up the asthma story arc where Bruce's friend is like running around killing the kids, the would-be the teenagers and stuff, and he ultimately stops her. But now we got the whole little tease at the end of that last issue of this corporation, this company, this corporate entity called Elixir that is actually behind the happenings of some new odd crime in Gotham. So we're diving into Elixir, what it is, a little bit of their past. Batman goes and meets up with Harvey Bullock, who's kind of investigating stuff. He was fired by Commissioner Savage back a few months back when Vandal was in charge. So Batman has officially hired Harvey to, because he's independent now, to go investigate for him. Kind of like how we used to have Gordon doing it for him. We get Harvey doing it for him now. So this, we're going to find out just how powerful, how entrenched Elixir is in the happenings of Gotham. It's kind of like how the Court of Owls have their fingers in everything, but this, instead of being just like the rich shadow government of the city, this is more like a shadow agency, and we don't know who it's tied to or what it's tied to. We just know it exists, and it exists to do creepy medical experiments. So we'll see where it goes when we go far from Gotham in the pages of the Detective Comics 1097. Last but not least, Paul, we get corner boxes, man.
Yeah, exactly. With the art, it's like that's nice. Although they dropped the legacy numbering from this one.
For some reason. Back.
They have it on the other ones. They had it on Green Lantern. They had it on Batman. For some reason, they dropped it on Superman.
I guess because of the corner box art. I don't know which one I'd rather have now that you said that. But the corner box art is cool. Superman Unlimited. Oh, man.
It reminds me of the Triangle days.
Yeah. So the Superman Unlimited one is different.
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost like, let me get that focus. There we go. Breaking the chains and then flying at you. Do you remember in the Hulk, how in the late 80s, the Hulk ones, when you get all of them in order, you can kind of like flip book them and like transforming and standing back up as a Hulk? It's looking like we might be getting ready to do that again.
Oh, maybe.
Breaking the chains and then flying at you. Is that what we're doing? Is that happening?
Could be.
Could be. Let's make it happen. Superman 26 is here after the mega events of issue number 25. Mercy Graves gets sick of Nice Lex. She unlocks a hidden project of a clone. It's a little bit Bizarro, a little bit Lex. It's called, what is it called? Something L, like
L. L or something, right?
L or something like that. Crazy clone. It was like a Bizarro Luthor clone where he'd been experimenting with stuff, but she just wanted to set it out on the city to kind of draw Lex back out, and she did, but not in the way she intended. Lex, still good, across the line. He went out there with a mega Luthor gun and just blasted this thing, took it out. In the process of the fight, Lois spent all of the remaining Superwoman energy she has. So whatever power she has is back out into the cosmos. We're not sure if it's retethered with whoever it came from or if it's just expended. We know as the readers that it came from Zod. So Zod had been depowered in the time that Lois has had this, and he's on a collision course with Earth. He's been traveling. We had that Kneel Before Zod 12 issue maxi series, and we see what he's been up to. But now, after the events of that, Lex is back in jail. Mercy's back at Supercorps. Lex's daughter's not happy, and Superman's trying to figure out why he keeps redlining. What do you think?
Red kryptonite.
The red kryptonite poisoning from Dr. Graffin Farm in the beginning of Jamal Campbell and Williamson's run. It's still present in him. And when he got depowered during Absolute Power, it set off that residual stuff. It's having a bad effect with him. And now it's not only happening when he's mad, but it's getting worse. He's not able to control it. He's having anger fits.
So when you were reading this and you got to the point where Lois said she was going back to work, did you think that this was part of the story?
I did. I legitimately did for a second. I'm
Me
like,
too.
God, I have to read a whole article.
I know.
I'm like, oh, never mind. That's just for everyone.
And then I
else.
recognized it. I'm like, oh, that was in the back of the Superman Unlimited one too. So I was like, but it took me a little while to remember that.
Yeah, the Superman Sandisk. I picked up one of those as well. I gave it
Mhm.
away. Every Tuesday, I do a new DC Day live stream where I do a weekly giveaway of new DC books. I gave it away the week it came out as one of the prize packs that week. But that was a super cool
Come
cover.
again.
Dan
Come
Moore
again.
artwork.
Hi.
But yeah, what'd you think of this issue? It's pretty solid, right? A lot going on.
Solid with the interlude. So for those of you who don't know, what they're basically doing is they're going to be having with Superman Unlimited. That's going to be his current stories. Action Comics is going to go back to when he was Superboy,
Starting with the next issue, right?
Exactly, yeah. And Superman is going to be everything that's going to be tying into the All In and the Darkseid stuff. So that's how they're going to delineate between the three separate titles.
Dude, I can't wait. What a good time to be we've been saying this for years now. What a great time to be a Superman fan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hopefully Dan Mora will be back. It's going to be. He also said Dan Mora said that he has one other surprise thing that he's drawing that he hasn't mentioned yet. So, but I can't imagine he's going to be able to do Batman and Daredevil and Deadpool and Superman and
Justice League Unlimited.
All of that. Well, he's still doing covers for World's Finest. He's still doing some covers for, I think, for Boom. He's doing Power Rangers or something like that. Some covers for them, I think, or something. And then he said he has one more thing that he's working on as well. So he's like,
that's one of those things. If you're able to draw like this, and you're able to draw fast. You are just like, you're it.
Yeah,
you are it. How many issues? All of Superman is ongoing. Action Comics is ongoing. Superman Unlimited is being solicited as an ongoing series. So I really don't know how long they're going to run that format for. I don't think they announced any kind of because Action Comics has been a good way to kind of measure stuff. They did the Superstars era where they just did the 3-issue story arcs and changed the creators and stuff. But I'm not sure how long they're planning on going this for. It's got to be definitely through the summer, most certainly through the summer, which that only sounds like a couple issues, but we know they still have this Summer of Superman era across the trade dress of all of these. We know that with that format and that timeline that we looked at earlier that they announced and dropped, that gets us through September all the way up to fall of 2025 with the Omega symbol there, where that format would still come in handy. So I guess it also depends on sales too, right? Like if sales don't reflect properly what they're having to pay these people, they'll shift gears in a heartbeat and do what they got to do.
Yeah. But yeah, I think for the foreseeable future anyway, that's what they're going to be doing with Superboy in Action. Superman title will be the All in Darkseid stuff, and Superman Unlimited will be his current adventures. So, and yeah, Superman Unlimited was solicited as an ongoing. So, as long as they have Dan Slott who's willing to do it, until Lex Luthor ends up putting himself inside of Superman and they call him Superior Superman, then I think we'll be good.
And making him and Lois divorce.
Yeah.
Yeah. Say it louder, Finn.
Paul?
Yeah.
So have you seen like the new Superman toy?
Oh, which one? There's so many of them. I've seen a lot of them.
The new one.
Which one? Tell them about what it looked like or what it does.
The slime monster one.
Oh, the slime one with the kaiju and the slime in the center? Yeah, I've seen that one. That looks really good.
Yeah. I'm going to get it next time I see it.
Nice.
That thing's amazing.
With all his money.
You didn't see him, but as he was leaving, he pointed at you. He's like, that thing's amazing.
Yeah, it was super cool. We went to Walmart over the weekend to go look for a toy for Monkey and to see if they had any of the McFarlane ones. And they had that Kaiju Superman 2-pack with the slimy stomach. It was super cool. It was definitely super cool. But that pretty much wraps us up for tonight. We're about at the 2-hour mark. Man, there was a lot of comics, a lot of good stuff out there. make sure you're looking through those shelves. There's definitely something for everybody. There's a lot of stuff to be excited about, a lot of stuff on the way. Don't forget, next week, issue 1, Justice League versus Godzilla versus King Kong. Volume 2 is hitting shelves, and tons of other stuff. And don't forget to keep up with the community tab, the posts on my page if you're interested in Turok, because I'm still going through Turok, and we're about to hit a major shift, getting toward the last Turok here. We're through the acclaimed era now, on to the next stuff. So I appreciate everybody that keeps up with all those. Did you see that dino from the new movie, the D-Rex? Yeah, not in the store, but I've seen the figure for it. I'm definitely going to pick one up to add to Finn.
D-Rex?
You know the new Jurassic World commercial for the new movie? How there's that red light with that crazy monster-looking dinosaur that grabs that guy? You don't really get to see it very good yet.
No.
The toy for it is out, so you can actually see what it looks like. It's not on shelves yet, but they've shown pictures and said it's coming soon.
They have one
Something
alien.
cool.
They have one alien-like dinosaur too.
What is it?
They have one, and it looks like one of the aliens
The aliens from what?
from Alien.
Aliens.
The xenomorphs?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks
Yeah.
like they have a xenomorph-looking dinosaur.
That's the D-Rex. It's got like the extra arms and stuff. Yeah. Pop said, good night, Finn, and everyone
Good
else.
night.
Paul said, we got our Lunar comics for
Right,
next
there you
week.
go.
Boom.
Who?
Paul at the bookstore.
Oh, you watches this stuff?
Yeah, he watches this
He
stuff.
watches this stuff.
Yeah, that's see, Augusta Book Exchange. There's Paul.
Okay.
There's Paul, and there's Paul. We're surrounded by Pauls.
Paul's everywhere.
Paul's everywhere.
Hi, Paul at the bookstore.
And don't forget, in the description of all my videos, you too can become a subscriber with Paul at the bookstore. If you don't have a comic shop or a way to get consistent books every week, every month, however you like to get them, reach out, hit the link, message them. They can set you up with a pull list so you don't miss out on any of these titles, and they do free shipping on orders over $100. So they got you covered. Paul said, hi, Finn, I see you.
Hi, Paul at the bookstore.
Joe said, night, Finn. He's the one that sent you that package of toys that you opened up on your channel with all the Transformers and stuff in there.
Okay. Good night.
Ryan, appreciate you hopping in and hanging out with us, man. Make sure you check out the giveaway for the Epic Summer Giveaway. Make sure all y'all do. Just
If you
scroll back a
don't-
few videos ago and look for the Jurassic Park, Superman, and Fantastic Four picture. Tons of prizes, tons of ways to enter. You don't want to miss out on that. And make sure y'all hit the thumbs up. And if you haven't already, hit that join button, become a channel member, get all the extra bonuses and perks and all that good stuff, is including exclusive giveaway opportunities. That's going to do it for tonight. I appreciate everybody coming and watching. Paul, you got anything else?
No, see you tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock for DC Comics Deep Dive, and Wednesday night at 9 o'clock for Guess That Key over on my channel.
And that leaves us with Finn.
We are Legion.
Is that it? Is that all you got?